His total racing time was 133 hours.
Sam.
Yeah,
Sam.
stages that took us 4 hours to finish, it took him 17 hours to finish. It was
That was
Wow.
insane. And there was a couple days, there was one day specifically that
Wow.
it was dark, and the whole finish of the stage was in the dunes, big dunes too. And he had to ride all of these dunes in the dark, which is super sketchy because you can't actually see when the dune drops off. You can only see when you're going up into just blackness. And so he's trying to ride all these dunes at night. He's out of water. He's sweating like crazy because he's working so hard. He said he crashed so many times that he finally said, "All right, if I crash one more time, that's it. I'm done. I'm gonna stop here." And then he would crash again. He'd pick up. He's like, "All right, the next time I crash, I'm done." And then he'd crash again, and then he'd just keep doing that. And then he came upon this camp. It's like these guys out there just spectating, and the local guys that had set out their rugs and they were having tea. And he rolled up, and he's freezing cold because he's sweating so much. And so he stops. He's getting warmed up, and he's out of water. So they're offering him stuff, and he drinks 8 cups of chai. And I think if you drink just 1 cup of chai, you'll be up for about 5 days. And he drank 8 cups. And finally, the guys were almost trying to force him to stay there. Like, look, man, you shouldn't go back out. He's like, no, I have to finish. Like there's no other option. I have to finish. I have to continue.
Dang.
So he got back up and he finished the stage. And then when he came in that night, he had hypothermia because of all the sweat. And then he was on the liaison. And so they forced him to sleep in the medical tent so he could warm up. And he was, shaking uncontrollably. So he slept in the medical tent, woke up the next morning, started the next stage. And then he finished that stage in the dark. It turned out the finish of that special was actually the start of the next one. So he just finished that one and slept there at the finish of that special, woke up the next morning, refilled his bike, and started the next one. Like, the it's insane the amount of stories that he has. He's like, oh yeah, it was incredible. And he came into the finish, held up his medal, and we're like, dude, this is more inspiring than anything I've ever seen. The fact this dude made it to
Wow.
the finish line is incredible, and he was so stoked on it. And he did it Malimoto.